Yeah, look, I thought the efforts that went in were outstanding, and the guys worked hard to get to what we thought was a competitive total, and unfortunately we weren't able to create many opportunities and get those breakthroughs, and it was a little bit frustrating. We sort of thought on that surface that there'd be a few opportunities to do that and build some pressure, and I think we've seen the conditions throughout. They've been fairly consistent, and the ball did skid on a little bit, but Aussie were outstanding in their chase and very, very clinical, and they've had a fantastic campaign. They're a brilliant side, and they thoroughly deserve the win.
It looked tough to score on early on. You're 57 for 1 off 10. Did it feel tough, and where did you think you were placed at that stage?
Yeah, it did feel tough. It was just holding in the wicket a bit. Sort of normal characteristics, I think, of your Dubai services, and it was nice to sort of build a platform and then try and accelerate from there, which we were able to do. And I suppose when you lose, you look at a number of different areas and you want more of everything. But I think if we look at a whole, the campaign and the effort that went in and the performances that went into getting us here, and even tonight, it's always a fine line with winning and losing, especially in this format. But you come up against a very strong side in Australia, who've been playing really, really well, and they did that again tonight.
Hi, Kane. It's unfortunate that your innings was ultimately in a losing cause, but could you talk a little bit about the way you approached it?
I was trying to play the situation as well as I could, and build some partnerships, which we were able to do, and get a little bit of momentum after what was quite a tough start on that surface. And it was nice to get to a reasonable total, and we thought if we're able to put some wickets on the board and build some pressure in a final, then anything can happen. But once again, Australia were very, very good.
And at the interval, did you feel like you were above par?
Yeah, probably around about. I guess there's always things that come into that factor, and conditions obviously are a big part of that. But having said that, with runs on the board, that if you can build some pressure and you get a few opportunities, then things can happen quickly. But what wasn't to be tonight.
Tough luck, Kane. Tell us, how important was the toss factor during this tournament? I mean, those who wins the toss wins the matches. We have seen in these last 3 matches, those who wins the toss wins the matches. So how important was the toss factor, especially in this final match?
I mean, it did have an effect. Some dew did come in, but take nothing away from the quality of Australia. They came out in the final and played superbly well, and credit goes to them and the way they played their cricket for the last 3 weeks.
Hi Kane, Shubhan Chakravarti from TV9 this side. Kane, 2015 final, 2019 final, and now 2021. This team has shown in past that you guys have lived up to the
Test Championship final.
Of course, that's a different format, but yeah, I'm talking about the white ball format. But how toughest it is to live up again to the expectations, and the type of cricket you play after such defeats. It must be moral crushing, I would say.
You sign up to play the game, and you win and you lose, and these are things that can happen on any day. And if you look at the campaign on a whole, which we do, and the type of cricket that we've been able to play, and I can say that we're very proud of our efforts throughout this period of time. You get to a final and anything can happen, and you mentioned perhaps that white ball one in 2019, which might be a longer discussion if you have some time. And all these different fine lines and results, they happen, and today we turned up and played some really good cricket, and it wasn't quite good enough, and that's sort of just the way it goes, and for us it's still putting our energy into the right areas, and there are a lot of positives in the statements that you made, and for us it's still trying to build on that, grow as a team, and you want to win these comps. You want the fruits, but so does a lot of other teams. And when you do turn up on the day, anything can happen. And we've seen how competitive this competition's been, all right through the group stages as well. And there were so many sides that were we're more than capable of winning this competition. But like I say, really proud of the efforts that have gone in from our side across the board.
And as a captain, what would be your words to these boys, as you gear up for another cycle? The next World Cup is just a few months away.
Yeah, I mean, the picture's always big, you sort of narrow it down and you look at sort of one game here, one game there, and the wins and losses that come as part of what we do. But, the bigger picture's the important one, and it is trying to continue to improve as a group. And I thought we came here with, some relatively, or a mix, I suppose, of experience and younger players that a lot of them, it's their first time in a World Cup, and they played extremely well, and it would be much better for the experiences that they've had, and there's a lot of growth here. But as a cricket team, you keep looking forward, as any sports team or any team for that matter, you keep looking forward and look at the things that you can continue to improve on as a group and try and play better cricket day to day.
Ken, again, it's so far, so near. Is it Kiwis are used to with this kind of moments, or you are happy with the consistency you are gaining in the ICC global tournaments consistently?
Yeah, I mean, even then, all teams are strong, and so you certainly don't sit back and feel that. You have to be fully engaged and be playing your best cricket day in, day out. And, I think throughout this competition we were able to adapt well. We played it sort of, I think it was 2 games at every venue or whatever it was. We sort of spread out a bit, and the team adjusted well, and kept committing to what was important to us as a group to make us competitive, and that gave us every chance. And it was great to be a part of the final. It would have been obviously nicer to be on the right side of the result, but Australia played really, really well, and you can hear them celebrating next door, and rightly so. They had a fantastic campaign. They're a team, full of amazing players, and they really stood up today.
Ken, a word or two on your own batting tonight. Absolutely great to watch. Couple of one-handed sixes and a flick six of probably one of game's best bowlers.
Yep, it was nice to make a contribution, and I suppose when you finish with the end result, you always want a little bit more, and you want to make sure that as a batsman or being a part of partnerships that they're of real value, and certainly that was the focus. But unfortunately today it didn't get us far enough. But there are a number of good contributions. The team did their very best, and it wasn't quite enough tonight.
Okay, we'll now move over to questions on Zoom, please.
Cool, thank you. We'll start with Ian Anderson from stuff.co.nz.
Kane, obviously just pushing on a little bit from a question around the toss, and teams obviously opting to bowl first. Is it a message advantage now in T20s with the way teams are able to chase scores quickly to be batting second, particularly maybe in that part of the world?
No, I don't think there's just an advantage for doing one or the other. I think the decision's made based on conditions, knowledge of the conditions, and I think we've obviously seen every team, tried to chase in night games here, and we would have tried to do the same, but didn't get the toss, and that's the way it goes. And all you can focus on is the quality of cricket that you try and play, and we certainly did our very best. But Australia were outstanding. They're a very strong side, and they've shown that throughout this competition.
Obviously, in Australia's chase, they could put you under pressure right from the start. Did that contribute a little bit to some bowling that was a little bit off the mark tonight, sort of a little bit missing lengths, and were punished?
Yeah, I mean, the bowling attack's been a real strong point for us throughout this whole competition, and you're having to adjust from venue to venue, team to team, and that's the nature of playing in tournament sport. And tonight, I mean, you can always look at little bits that you want to do a little bit better, but ultimately the quality was there from Australia, and they played really, really well, put us under pressure, and we weren't able to get those breakthroughs. And if you are, then you can build that pressure, and 170 feels like a long way away. But they played really well. They got momentum, and it never changed.
Thanks.
Cool. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks very much, Kane.
Thanks very much for your time, guys.